Rogers TV.
The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
Hello, this is Carl Wells, and welcome to Point to Point. No, I'm not Carl Wells? Okay. Welcome to Sharing Cultures. No, I'm not that either? Okay. Welcome to Backyard Bartending. This isn't a backyard. Okay. Gotcha. Welcome to Growlers Hockey on Rogers TV. I don't even do that. What? Okay. Oh, you're right. It's like an interview show when we have conversations with people. Okay. Welcome to the virtual edition of Out of the Fog on Rogers TV. Oh, I don't even do that. Oh my God. What did I do? Thank you. Cue cards. Thank you. So helpful. Welcome to Tobin Tonight. I'm Tobin. You are the Tonighters. No? We'll find something that sticks. Welcome to 2023, people. We survived. We've done it. We're here. Woohoo! We've got some really great guests lined up for 2023, so I hope. Listen, it's all subjective anyway. Just because I like them doesn't mean you have to like them. And you might say, I don't like the host, and that's fair. Sometimes I don't like the host. I think sometimes he's a real piece of work. He's a piece of work. Let's just leave it at that. But I really do think this episode is a really good start for 2023 because it's a returning guest that we've had on. We've had her on for a Halloween episode. People like the Halloween episode because, she liked Halloween. So we thought we'd have her back on because she had a really good 2022. She had some new music that came out that, to me, because again, all subjective, I thought was really good. But some people might be like, not really my taste. Totally okay. She had a Christmas album that came out, and that did wonders for her, which is good because you want to see good people get rewarded for good things. Basically, because the 2023 episode is the first episode, I know people want to come on and they want to talk about promoting like albums that they've done or concerts that they're getting ready to do, like in the summer, and that can be tough, right? Because usually they don't want to do that until it's closer to the date. So in this episode, you can expect everything and nothing all at the same time. And that's what makes these things great, because there's conversations with people. So by everything, I mean, we talk about her 2022, like the music that she released, what things worked for her in 2022. And when I mean nothing, I mean, we talk some of my stuff, and no one wants to hear that anyway. That's what I mean by nothing. And we play some random questions at the end. I really enjoy random questions. I think it's a good way to get to know people. If you're at a party, play random questions. It's a great idea. It's a random question generator you can find on your phone. Real simple. And you find stuff out about people that people are like, what? I didn't know that about that person. It's like, well, there you go. So with all that being said, I have to now go call Ryan Reynolds and figure out when we're doing the episode with Ryan Reynolds. I'm trying, people. I'm trying. Enjoy the episode, and welcome to 2023 of Tobin Tonight on Rogers. I want to ask you to kind of really start off the conversation here, but when people say like 2023 or whatever year we're in, like this will be my year, or this is my redemption year, or like this is new me. But yeah. I feel like, for me personally, looking back at what you've did at 2022, I know like we had you on 2021, and I'll be honest, because that's kind of what I do, is I came across some of your stuff on Instagram, and I was like, all right, like Canadian act seems like on the rise, some interesting takes, like music wise. And I was just like, sure. But like I found in 2022, if this was the first time we had a chat, I would be more overly excited because there was like, I like Average. I like that song. I like the other one where it was like Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Even though like I told you, like I'm a nice guy and I do not like it. That's horrible.
That's
fair. Yeah. And then like I only realized this the other day, and I don't know if you take this as an insult, but like when I was looking at like iTunes, because I was like, oh, like let's go through some more library.
I didn't know that you did like a Blink-182 cover.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, because most times you listen to a cover and you're like, you're really setting a high bar, especially if that person likes that song.
Oh, totally. And that's like
And
a
then-
very loved song.
Yeah, and then when I was just like, ooh, Maddie, and then when I listened to it, I was just like, yeah, this is a great version.
Yeah, it's a different take. Actually, I got a lot of like mixed opinions on that too. Obviously, by a lot of like Blink-182 fans, because it's a little bit more chill. Like it's a chill pop version of it. But it was fun. I feel like it definitely kicked off the tone to like Average and Nice Guys. I was like, hey,
okay,
we're getting
that's
a little punk.
that's what you should do. Like when you look at Instagram now, and like I'm sure it was supposed to be meant well when someone first started, where it's like, hey, do you like Harry Styles? It's like, yeah, I love Harry Styles. It's like, well, do you like Celine Dion? I'm like, yeah. It's like, well, check me out. I'm like, what the like I like two of them separately, and then it's like this would be like what that sounds. And I'm sure like the first time I've come across that, I'm like, all right, you got me, because someone will say, do you like Fall Out Boy? Do you like this? And I'm like, interesting, I do.
Yeah.
And then I'll listen to it. I'm like, now you just ruined it for every time I hear that.
Anything like
No,
that.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like it's a blessing and a curse, because if you had to tell me, like, hey, do you like Blink-182? Hey, do you like Avril Lavigne? Check out this song, Average. I'd probably say, yeah, that's about right.
Oh, good.
But,
I'll take
yeah,
that.
yeah, like, but like if you were just like, do you like Blink-182? Do you like this? And then let's say you came out with another song, like
A
Part of
Christmas
Me
tune?
or whatever or something, then I'd be like, that no, I don't. Like, I don't
Instant
get it.
unfollow.
Yeah. No, it just like ruined it for everyone else every time,
Right.
right? Like it's like you have set a bar for someone, and then next month when someone else does it, you're like, well, actually, Madison Olds ruined it for everybody. It's like, I don't even know who that is, like, but I do,
Yeah.
and I listened to her,
Oh, that
and now she
Madison.
ruined it.
Now I can't even listen to her or them.
Yeah.
But no, that song definitely fell under the radar. It was kind of like I call them like fallen releases, where it just doesn't take. But even now, people reach out. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I've never heard this, and it's so cool." Or like the random TikTok person will make a video to it, and they're like, "This is the coolest cover or remake of it." And so, that's actually kind of a goal for. I mean, if there really are goals for 2023, who knows? I feel like I set such high expectations for a year, and then like January 10th comes around, I'm like, what the am I doing?
Yeah. Why did I set the bar so high?
Yeah, right. But I've actually been wanting to dabble in a couple more like covers and renditions of songs that I love. So
I think it's a good idea. I mean, at the end of the day, someone said this to me before New Year, but they're like, because I always find at the end of the year I'll go through my guest list and I'll be like, okay, like I'd like to have like 3 or 4 big acts on, or people that I'm like, you know what, like if nothing else, I can look back and be like, I've interviewed this person, or I gave this person a chance, and now they're off doing other interviews. But like someone will come back, because there's always going to be that crowd that's like, well, I knew her before she was on this. Yeah, right. So I was like, okay. But someone said to me the other day, it's like, then why do you seem mad about like how your year ended? Like, because I wanted to really do a very in-depth Christmas episode.
You had like an amazing stacked cast, by the way, this year. Like very, very fantastic.
But that's it. Like you look, like everyone does it, I'm sure. But like I look back at it, I'm just like, all right, so we had a Christmas episode. You were part of it. You did the extra. But like I was like, man, I wanted to have like a whole thing where all the acts we've had over the year did something. Now, Tobin being Tobin was like, that's probably easy to do. Let's start that in November. And then like acts come at you and say like, I'd love to, but this popped up, or I love to. And then I'm like, okay. And then like now it's like December 5th and you're like, okay.
The year's coming to an end.
Yeah. Like, man. And then I don't know. I'm not up on trends. Like I think a lot of people did the whole end of year trends where they had the voiceover guy where it's like that concludes the year. And I'm like, yeah, if I had something to conclude the year with, I probably would have used the thing. But at the same point, seeing so many people do it, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then there are people out there that's like, well, I guess you don't want to be trendy. I'm like, no, I don't want to be trendy. I just want people to kind of like what I'm doing and stumble upon it themselves, not be like, oh man.
I don't want to be intentionally cool. I just want to be cool. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. I just want people to be like that kid in school that you're like, he'd come in one day, be like, you're a nerd. You'd be like, I know, he's so cool. And then the next day, be like, sorry, I called you a nerd. I'd be like, oh my God, it's so cool. He apologized.
Yeah, right.
Like anything he does is just cool. It's like one minute he makes a half court shot. and it's
Yeah.
cool. And then he misses in a shootout, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, team." And
We
it's like,
can't all win them.
yeah. And then it's
He's
like,
oh,
"Oh, he's so
humble.
cool."
Yeah, he's so
He's
like
like,
down to earth.
yeah. And then the next guy comes out, and like he scores, and he's like, "Yay, we made it!" And like, "Shut up, Steve." It's like, "But I just won a game. I don't care, Steve. No one likes you."
You've just
Yeah.
like reiterated the plot of every movie I've ever loved.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. Like I keep on looking at movies that I like. Like I went back and looked at like High School Musical, and I think someone on Instagram, because like as you get older, you kind of see these movies for what they are. Not that they're shitty or bad. It's just that you see the what I
The
call the Disney,
quality.
yeah, and
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
Disney effect. But they showed like the losing team in the locker room, and I was like, yeah, if I was the losing team in the locker room, and they all had like sad faces, and you can hear them outside like, everybody, everyone. And I'm just like, yeah, I want to get out of there as quickly as possible too.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That Disney effect, that's crazy. I've started like obviously Disney Plus is like a huge thing and they've got new shows now, but you can't help but like go back and watch shows you loved, like Hannah Montana and That's a Raven. And
Love Hannah Montana, yeah.
it's great, but I'm also like, was this funny? When I was like, I
Oh,
laughed
yeah,
at this. Like this was funny. And
yeah.
I'm sitting there like, oh my God. What was I thinking?
Well, it's so interesting that you brought that up because, like, so the other day scrolling through Instagram, like, I sometimes forget how old you are when you're watching this stuff. Like, I'm not like saying that I'm 5 or 6 watching this. I'm probably like maybe say grade 11 or 10. So maybe like 16, 17. But I remember going home and telling my parents, or actually my mom, maybe in specific, I'm like, I used to do homework at like 8 or 9 because I'd go out and play ball hockey and then do homework.
Yeah.
Very Canadian. But it's like, but like I came home one day and like, you're old enough to make these decisions. But I remember telling mom, was like, I'm going to do my homework at 5 o'clock and then it's going to be done by 7:30 because then I can watch iCarly and I can watch this show and I can watch
iCarly slapped too.
yeah. And
Like,
then like I was expecting, like, I don't know why I was expecting her to be like, no, you're going to do it at 8. And she was like, sure. And I was just like, oh, I won that one.
yeah.
And she's probably in her mind like, no, I won that one because
Yeah,
if
did
you
your
take
homework.
longer to do your homework, it doesn't really affect when you started it.
Yeah.
So I get it done. And like, I remember watching our iCarly and like Drake and Josh and thinking that goes so funny. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
now I go back and watch some of the stuff and I'm like, you know what? Like it's still entertaining, but I don't think I'd sit down and watch it now. Maybe it's just growth. Like maybe it's not, I'm not your target
Yeah,
audience, but like
maybe.
some of it is still like, I'll look back and be like, you know what? It's a sincere moment, regardless how old I am. I'll remember it. Like they had the one, I don't know if I shared it on my Instagram, but it was Miranda, so Carly. I can't remember the other ones. I think I don't remember the other 2 characters' name right off the top of my head. But like they started off by singing the iCarly song, and then she stops singing, and then the other 2 pick up singing Drake and Josh, and she kind of gets like, no, like that's not correct. Like for fans, like almost like an
Yeah,
Easter egg
like
of
that
like this is
crossover.
like this is where you should know her from.
A pop
And then
culture
they
moment.
stop that song and they go right into Victorious because it's like, oh, here's another Nickelodeon show that's probably on right after this anyway.
Yeah,
And
that's so funny.
and I was like, as a kid, I don't remember it as much.
Yeah,
But seeing it now, I'm like, you know what? It's kind of
it was
sweet and
clever.
sincere.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like the Disney crossovers too, right? Where like
yeah,
Raven or Hannah would come to Sweet Life of Zach and
yeah,
Cody. Like those were always the best because you got to see like your favorite characters and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree that like as an adult now you kind of watch these kid shows and you miss like these really like mature topics. I actually just so funny this video maybe 30 minutes before I jumped on here of a Tom and Jerry episode and it was actually
okay,
it was so sad. Like I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm going to tear up.
yeah,
But it was like a comedic scene where he had passed and he was like going to heaven and then there was like this little bag, a wet bag of like kittens. And it
oh
was like
yeah,
it was insinuating just that they had obviously been tossed into the river and I was like
yeah,
never ever as a kid would I have like noticed these themes.
yeah.
And especially like SpongeBob is the one that like totally boggles my mind. There's so much adult humor in that and I have no idea how they get away
Yeah.
with it.
I want to ask you though, like, because kind of getting back to the question. So, like, in 2023, do you have like any goals? I know you mentioned kind of one there, but like, do you have anything in mind that like you'll look back at in December and be like, if I didn't achieve this or I didn't go here, not that you're kind of looking at it like, oh, things happen.
Oh yeah.
Like your goals can change. I know people are like, no, I said in January I got to do it, but like, is there anything like one thing specific that you're like, man, I would just like to have this on my resume or say I did it at the end of the year?
I mean, last year I set so many goals, and I think all it did was like leave me disappointed in December. Not that amazing things didn't happen, but they were amazing things that weren't on my list. And so like you measured yourself up to this list.
Yeah.
And I would love to keep like pushing that list because I'm like, oh, I didn't achieve it, so I should just push
Yeah,
it for the
yeah.
next year. And those things were like a viral TikTok song, or like, you know, 10 million streams on a song, or like, you know, these
Yeah, okay.
ridiculously arbitrary numbers that really don't mean anything. And then this last Christmas, I did a Christmas album, and it was actually so much fun. It was like my most successful release ever. We hit like 1 million on the album in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Like, it was crazy. And I realized that those songs I wrote, I didn't write for anybody other than myself. And we wrote the one that blew up in like 45 minutes. We had so much fun. It didn't matter. And so like if I had a goal for this year, it would be to stop writing songs for like the trends, to stop writing
Yeah.
songs for like popularity, and to just genuinely write songs that I think are cool and that, you know, I like. And I think last year I tried really hard to be, you know, like keeping up with what was doing well. Like Gail was, you know, top of the charts. Avril had just released her new album, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna be this like super edgy, badass like chick. And that is so like, from the outside I look really mean, but I'm like a gooey, more marshmallow cookie
Yeah.
on the inside. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is so not me. And so, you know, my major goal is just to be authentic. I don't know. That sounds so
No. I mean, like it's funny because like you say that, and then there was a time frame that was to like I said, when the song "Nice Guys" came out, I was like, I don't know if I want to have Madison on anymore. She seems like she's gone a different yeah. We've done this before to kind of close out the episode. I think you'd find this fun, but random questions.
I love random questions.
What's your favorite candy?
Oh. I love so many.
I like anything sour. Sour keys.
Sour keys. I feel like if I was like a kid in a candy store and I could pick anything, I'd probably grab blue whales. Does that sound
Oh yeah,
crazy?
No.
I'd go for like.
I
the
mean, you know
biggest
what?
handful of blue
You
whales.
seem like a total oddball. No, I'm like.
Or like blue whales or like Big Pete. Like those are always
Okay. Oh, okay.
when you could buy candies for 5 cents at 7-Eleven, and my
Yeah.
parents would give us each a toonie, and you could like go in and get a bag of candy for $2. It was just those.
I love that you reference 7-Eleven. It makes it like, to me now, it makes it feel like, yeah, she's definitely like, you know, bigger, larger than life. Because we would just call it like down here, and shout out to my neighbor because she actually used to work there, Pomeroy's, and people were like, oh,
Pomeroy's?
yeah, it was just like a local small convenience store, but it was like owned by a guy.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you just call it Pomeroy's. It's like when you go to the States and they call it like, I don't know, like Keats Pizza. It's like it's only available in like Pittsburgh, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
okay.
a one-off mom and pop.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But I thought
we had some like convenience stores like that, but it was you could always rely on the good old 7-Eleven 5-cent candies.
Okay. Yeah.
Blue whales.
Man, I would just, if it was like sour keys, and now they have these like smaller, I've gotten for Christmas like little sour whatever. They're like keys, but they're like just smaller.
Yeah.
And then I bought these off Amazon because I love sour Starburst, and you can get them in these. They're like,
oh, they're like the minis. Oh,
yeah.
I actually do like the mini. See, it's impossible to pick one.
Oh, I know.
Candy.
But like, I mean, if someone told me for the rest of your life, you can only, I'd probably say like small sour keys. But I did love when I was smaller the blue sour keys. I was very upset when like you go into a store like, we have regular. I'm like, not regular, and then someone be like, God damn, he's not regular. You're just like, what did you say back there? If you could try out any job for 1 week, what job would you choose to try?
I feel like I would love to be like a screenwriter. I would love to write for a show or something like that. I've always thought about maybe writing a book too, so maybe a writer. I guess that's
nice.
I guess I write music, so that's not like too far off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's right up there with your career path, right? Yeah. I feel like if they asked me, I'd probably say like acting, but I feel like I act enough. Like, you know, I act okay on podcasts.
I think you should do acting. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, geez, yeah, it could be like the next like Topher.
Yeah.
Grace.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's that 90s shows out, so you could be that that 2000s.
Is it out? Okay. I didn't know if it was out yet.
I've seen clips of it.
Yeah. I'll give it a chance. Let's put it that way, because that would be like another 20-minute episode where it's just like, all right, Maddie, I've watched it. I don't know how I feel about it, but I love. Yeah, but I love Kitty in red, so I'll give it a chance.
I know.
Right. I just want to hear him for one last time. Just tell someone he's going to stick their foot in their ass or his foot in their ass. But it kind of ruins it for me if there's no, like, I know Fez is involved, but it always made it funny, the encounter where Red's just like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to deport you back to where you came from. And he's just like, I don't understand what you're saying or something. And I'd be like, all right, try that today.
I kind of felt like the ranch was like already a spin-off, like not quite a spin-off, but it was like a very similar stacked cast, obviously with the guy that plays Hyde that they, with recent events, obviously he's not involved in anything anymore, but and Fez was in it and Red and Ashton Kutcher, so I feel like they kind of already did it, and so I was a little surprised.
I like when shows do that, where it's kind of like you know what I mean, like subliminally you kind of know what it's about without them actually coming out and saying it. Like, I like Girl Meets World, but you kind of forced it down my throat of letting me know, like, but if you just had to come out and say, hey, we're doing Girl Meets World, just watch it, then you'd be like, okay. But like you putting in the whole, like, now we're bringing back Sean, we gotta finish Sean's story, it's like, okay, it's no longer about the characters that you wanted to build it about. Right?
I agree.
What was the last thing you bought?
Did I go out today? No, hold on.
I slept for 15 hours.
I did go out today, but it was just to go to the gym. No, what was the last thing I bought?
Thought you wanted people to believe that you were genuine. No.
Yeah, I did work out because I put on too much Christmas weight. But no, hold on. I'm trying to just give me a freaking second.
Give me.
I think I get notifications when I Apple tap. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
This is gonna be really authentic. No, it's not. It's not gonna let me load. Soy milk?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
A carton of soy milk. Oh, I bought soy milk, popcorn, and ice cream bars.
Okay.
It is so unexciting.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. I think, oh man, what was the last thing I bought? I'd have to go, like, you know what? Because I don't think, I can go to my Amazon app, I guess. Let's see.
Christmas just happened, so I did a bunch of obviously Christmas shopping, but does that really count? Like that was I do.
I feel like Christmas shopping is like kind of a given where you have to. It's like when someone says, "What's the last thing you bought?" and you said Christmas gifts, they'd be like, "Wow, fucking asshole!" Like,
it was like electric toothbrushes.
yeah. They'd be like, "All right, well, at least I know she looks after her teeth."
Yeah, no, that's what my Christmas gifts were this year. Electric toothbrushes.
Oh, okay. Well, geez. I think the last. So, oh yeah, here it is. So, I mean. It's kind of a cop out, so I'll give you two. But so every year when I take down Christmas stuff, like these walls, like probably like an hour ago, were Christmas related, right? So like I had Grinch, like what do you call them? Like peel off things? You like kind of put water,
stick, like
so,
the vinyls.
Yeah, so like I can't keep them every year, but they're not like overly expensive. So I go to Amazon, and the last purchase I have is the Grinch things, like those Grinch. So but like I fill it up, and by the time it comes, I just put it in a bin, so I have it for next year, so I don't have to worry about arriving late. But if it's not Christmas related, the last thing I bought was, it's probably on to the side there. So I have a Nintendo Switch, but I bought a black case for the Switch because everything in my room is like black fridge.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it kind of blends in with the background.
I like that. I feel like my answers were lame, but I didn't get anything exciting. So.
Yeah, well, you got the gift of me, but you didn't buy me though. But
I bought it with time.
yeah. Well, Madison, I loved having the conversation with you as always.
My cheeks always hurt after we talk, even on Instagram. I'm gonna have to ice my face when I get
every time you just send me a picture, just be like, okay, send me your messages, I'm ready.
Well, and I always feel like this is like my resting face, and it is a very classic resting face if I don't. So I smile, so people are like, "Oh my god, she's a."
I think you know what, it's interesting because I remember talking about this before Christmas with people, where it's like when you see people's content and like they're trying so hard to be genuine, but like genuinely they're a good person. It's just that they have that quality where it's like they look like my best friend at Carleton when I was like when I went to university, I always tell her I hate, like, I did not want to talk to her like at the beginning, because she just had, it was like the Mean Girls reference. She had 3 girls, and I was like, I'm a Newfoundlander coming over to talk to you, and I was just gonna be like, hey, we're in the same class, my name is Bryan, and then in my mind, because my mind has been watching so many shows and, you know,
She does
seeing
not wanna
all,
be my friend.
yeah, like the worst. I was already imagining that I'd be like, hi, my name's Bryan. I'm in your class. And then like the two other girls, without her even opening her mouth, be like, this guy's name's Bryan and he's a newfie. What a loser. And then she'd be like, yeah, go away, loser. And then you have like a whole lunchroom being like, newfie. And that would never happen. But in my mind, I'm like, you don't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, but like even when you know, you rest your face, you're so kind, you're so genuine.
Yeah.
And so I have like a very permanent smile when doing anything on camera,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
moment it stops, it's like just
Oh,
full
yeah.
grump.
Well, I did love the thing that I did think that was very funny that you did at Christmas time. Well, I mean, like in a nice way, not like, oh, what a loser, but it's like the ad that you did with the other, I can't remember her name now,
Oh,
but like,
Mariah.
yeah,
Yes.
like because I remember, like, you know what? I don't keep up with everyone's Instagram, and I think I seen it around Christmas time. I was like, I know she had a Christmas stuff come out, but like, I love how it just comes across very like, very old, like very old
Oh
school,
yeah.
like yeah, and
We
then
were
like
trying to do like car salesman.
yeah, yeah, and I like it. But the thing that I think was the biggest takeaway, and I don't know if it was intended or you just kept it in because it was funny, but the girl with the drinks, and then
She's
it's like,
great.
yeah, like I
And
don't know if that was like a line that she was supposed to, but as soon as you said, or it's like, would you like to be Christmas, blah blah blah, and you were Christmas easy,
Easy,
and
yeah.
then you just pan to her and she's like, what does it even mean? But she's like laughing, and I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, did she mean to do that?
It was so genuine. It was so. We asked everybody at the event, you know, what does
Yeah.
Christmas easy mean to you? And a lot of people, you know,
Yeah.
one friend was like, "Do you want to be Christmas slutty? Well, then
Yeah.
listen to Christmas easy." And like hers was just, "What does that even mean?" Like it
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
so great.
But it's
so
like I
genuine.
didn't even, I don't know, I like at first when I watched it, I was like, that's not planned, but they kept it in because it was so good. But it's like her genuine reaction
She's
was
so
just
funny.
like it was just like, what are you even talking about? Why am I here? How did I
It's
get involved?
very much Blades of Glory. What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah. Madison, I enjoyed having the conversation with you. Is there anything like you
Always.
want to add in, include?
No,
But
I think I mean, like if I had one final takeaway, I'm just really excited about 2022 was really weird for all of us, and I think 2023 is going to be amazing. And I know everybody jokes like it's my year, but I think
Yeah.
it's everybody's year. This is the year we like finally.
how can it
take
be
ourselves
everyone's
back.
year? It can't be everybody's year.
It's gonna be it. I'm manifesting it. I wrote it in the journal. It's happening.
Yeah.
So
That is
I'm just
why
excited.
they have the song, if it hasn't been your day, your month, your year.
Yeah.
You know, that's why. Because there has to be a reason for the next year you come back stronger. If everybody's year was 2023, then we don't need 2023. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with that.
I'm not. I'm very concerned. No.
That's going to do it for this episode of Tobin Tonight. Our thanks to Madison Olds for coming on to the show. Remember, you can find past, present, and future episodes on TobinTonight.com, Spotify, and iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and leave a comment or two. For Tobin and myself, this is Jacob saying, thanks for listening and good night.